Now, this is the time for us to take the second segment, which is issues, and we'll be looking at two very important issues in the society, and one is talking about AY, Abeokuta, the comedian, and his wife, the divorce saga, what happened, want to look at the implication, and on the second leg of the second segment, we'll be having our guest, Fumi Shodunke. She is a digital creator. Let me take you through a little information about Fumi Shodunke. OLUWAFUNMI Shodunke is a graduate of York University, Toronto, Canada, where she studied global health with special focus on health promotion and disease prevention. She is the owner of Moments by F Show, which is an event content creator and videography business. Fumi, good morning. You're welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for joining us from far away Canada, and we so much appreciate you on the program, Ladies Rendezvous.
Thank you for the privilege. I'm really excited to be here.
Hi, and Moradi KG, they will be joining us on the program as well.
Hi, Fumi. Glad to have you join us. Now it's Canada.
Sorry?
I saw it's Canada.
Well, Canada is great right now, so we're currently in between spring and summer, so the weather is pretty great, and we're not inside the coast, so yeah.
Oh, that's great. Nice to have you join us.
All right, and we on the program want to talk about Abeokuta saga, the divorce saga with his wife, and we'll mind if you're joining us because you're a digital creator, and that means you have something to put out there on the social media. And if you say a story about Abeokuta, I know you will jump at it and bring it on your page. So you'll be joining us talking about AY and the wife saga. So you're welcome to the program. My ladies, anything for us?
You're welcome. Okay, starting from me, you know, a marriage of 20 years is just come to an end just like that, and we have read about all the scenario that played out, and these two, you know, dudes decide to just go their separate ways. How does it feel like as a woman at first? Because when you see a content like this, like Charity rightly said, you would also want to share. But if it requires your comments, you know, to put in your input and probably in a way of educating people, what would be your own reaction to this situation? Because according to what we have here, my dreams of a lifelong marriage has now taken a different direction, and I'm committed to moving forward with grace and resilience. I ask for privacy and consideration for my ex-husband and I, says the businesswoman Mabel, and as she confirms the end of her marriage to comedian Abeokuta. So what do you say to this scenario? It's a 20-year, that's two decades relationship, and just come to an end just like that.
I mean, for sure, it's something that is sad to hear, because I am of the notion that when you do decide to get married, this is a lifelong commitment, right? Because that's kind of how God has ordained marriage to be, right? There is no divorcing and all of that. But then we also can be ignorant that there are things in life that do happen and might lead to separation from both partners, right? And for me, on my end, I'm just curious to know what might have transpired that they weren't able to kind of get over after 20 years of marriage. So it must have been something that maybe they just couldn't like reconcile about, but definitely sure it's very, saddening to hear, but that's also life. Things like this do happen, unfortunately, and it's just about, just moving on with life and getting on, because what can you do really?
Okay, now let's come back to being a digital creator, and you're a content creator also, and we want to know if it is easy to get content. Is it really easy to get content in Africa or outside Africa? All right, I don't think we lost that connection. Now let's dwell more on AY and the wife, Mabel, divorce saga. And this thing comes at a time that we were thinking AY has gotten 2 decades of his life intact in marriage, and we heard that there was no I don't know, maybe some people heard them fighting. I didn't hear anything about them.
They were not on the news. They have not been on the news except for now that I'm hearing about the divorce. You know, when you talk about people, you know, going their separate ways in marriage, you would have heard maybe stories around sometimes infidelity, you know, probably the husband was caught cheating or something. But, you know, for AY, I can't picture, yes, I can't really say you stumbled into any story like that was really around AY's marriage. But now coming out to say that, you know, the woman saying, I'm out of this marriage, we want people to respect privacy and let it flow. And the kids, what happened to them? You know, if you have had a child in that 20 years, maybe at the beginning of that marriage, it means the first child should be 20 years.
All right, Fumi, can you hear us? Hello, Fumi. Hello. Okay, please go on.
Okay, can we say that the firstborn now will be 20 years, and he's there looking at the mom and dad going their separate ways? You know, what will happen to the sense of these kids? You know, the trauma. Because I've never been there. I never experienced, you know, parent separation where you have to just choose whether to live with your father or your mother. I don't know how it feels like, but I'm sure a lot of people are being in their shoes. They understand what it feels like too. But I'm also aware that broken homes will not have a very good result on the children, especially. When you say a broken home, the children are now left with the decision of whether to go with the father or to go with the mother. And a joint hand to raise children goes a long way. When you, a single parent, raise children, we've had a lot of, you know, issues to say that it's because she's coming out of a single parent, and that's why she's not been able to do well.
And I know that some families would even take you serious if you are dating a single girl or someone from a broken home.
Yes, that's another societal impact to it, societal factor. When I'm bringing Owoyemi home as my fiance, and people would ask me that, or my family will ask,
please don't bring her home.
That's 40 years ago. No. Let's say, okay, sorry. Let's say I'm bringing Sunday now.
Okay.
The camera guy. He's a guy. And I say to my parent that this is Sunday. And
okay.
You know,
for me is back now.
Okay.
So for me, we were talking about digital creation, how digital content.
How to get content.
How do you get content? Is it easy to get content? Because with your page that we went through, we can see that you've created a lot of content in there. Is it easy for someone who is just coming into your industry to create content? And what is those things that you must have in mind when you want to create content?
Oh, thank you so much. So I would say that for me, even though I just officially launched my business, this has been a 3-year journey, right? And I'm serving in church, and, you know, even that my journey of starting to create video, it all started in church, and people seeing what I've done for my church. And, you know, one of my friends asked me that, you know, can I, you know, create something for his wife's baby shower, because we were planning a surprise baby shower. So that was kind of how that started. And seeing that people kind of knew me and knew what I was about, you know, I've been able to kind of build from there. And now that my business out there, thanks to just the community that I'm surrounded by, because they're very, you know, supportive and encouraging, I've been able to kind of get some gigs here and there. And because I'm also not on this journey by myself, right? Because there's something about the power of collaboration, and I often work with, you know, photographers or even business owners, and this is a service that everyone does need. So, you know, in that sense, I'm able to work together with them, right? So it's been a bit of I would say, a steady journey, right? Because now I am.
the program, and we've been talking with Funmi Shodunke. She is a digital creator and content creator too, and we've been talking about the importance of creating content, and why it is important for young people to come into it, and why it is important for the society.
All right, so Funmi, I want to ask you about your specialty, content and videography creation. Like, what's your own specialty exactly?
I would say a little bit of everything. I think that's definitely like a question I've asked myself and what I wanted to focus on. But I think it all just depends on the need of of whoever is reaching out to me. So I say like event content creator or videographer, because there are times that I'm actually really both, to be very honest. But it's just some services might require more behind the scenes content. Whereas if in the terms of the videography aspect, it could be maybe for a proposal, right? They want to see the meat of everything, the proposal, the crying, the oh my gosh, all of that, right? Not so much about the BTS, although that can come on later on, and that would be out of my own volition, just creating content on my own page to put out there, and create more engagement with people. So yes, people are able to see the final cut of the proposal video, but then I'm able to then show the behind the scenes of like the laughing and trying to get the vows out, or just like their speech out while they're creating, while they're proposing to their partner. So it really just depends. And there are times that for a business, if I'm working with a business owner, right, they want to see the process of like setting up and then serving their guests, if maybe it's like a catering service, for example. So it really just depends on the need, I would say.
Okay, for me, I want to talk about content creation on it. When you are talking about creating content, how do you go about getting content to create? Is it society happenings in the society? Does it inform what you put on your platforms?
Your inspirations.
Yes. Then what inspires the content you create? Then that's one. Then you're talking about followership, because when you have a content there, you need to make sure that you are continuous in terms of what you put out there for your followers to be much more entertained, probably educate them and stuff like that. Did you now go by saying can you say what you create has determined the number of followers you have organically, let me just say, or some people create content at the same time pay to get followers. So how do you go about all this? Do you have them coming in based on the quality of the content you create, or you're just you're just there, and do you have society factor in the content you create?
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for your question. So I would say, like, because of my niche, it's specific in the sense that yes, we have content creation, but now there is the other side of event content creation, where I'm going to an event and capturing whatever is happening there. Now, what type of event will determine? Is it a proposal? Is it just covering a business owner, or am I covering an event? So, for example, back here in Canada, a lady embarked on this journey of a cooking marathon, and I'm sure you guys are also aware of the ambassadors. Right, so I was on there as a content creator and just creating content on the spot. So I would record people coming in getting the food, because she was giving out the food for free as her way of giving back to the community. So in that way, my content is a bit different from the normal digital content creation, where you have a solo thing that maybe is creating either funny or educative content in that aspect. I know on my personal page I do a little bit of that, but not so consistently, right? Where I'm just, for me, I think life is better when you laugh and play. So I just put very light-hearted moments with my friends. But then on my business page, that's where we have a more structured thing, right? So, but because of the content I've been putting out, and also because of the community that I've had, and been able to build on my personal page, I've been able to get a bit more of traction. And again, I just started, I just have to put it out there. From there I can organically go, because I value just that organic growth and not just having ghost follow. Because
please, Fumi, I want to ask you this about the profits, the money part. How lucrative is it? Like you posting content, putting out content out there on social media, how do you get your profits back?
Awesome. So because I work with, either photographers or business owners, I would say I have a bit more control in that sense. Whereas maybe if I was just creating on my personal page, then it would be more of like, I hope that, these brands are able to notice my content and they're able to then maybe say, I want to partner with you, or maybe if I reach out to them, that they will like my work enough to,
collaborate,
partner with me. So because I work with individuals, so businesses and, photographers, or maybe even like someone that may be sending a proposal, it's been easier in that sense because I have a bit more control, which was one of my concerns when I wanted to embark on the content creation journey of like, okay, what do I want to do? How do I go about it? While still ensuring that I have a bit more control over my destiny in the sense, because I like to have a bit of control, right? So in that aspect, it's been a bit easier. So it's just more like, if you need my service, here I am to help you. Right, and then
all right, lastly now, before we leave, let me ask you this about humanity when you are creating your content. Sometimes last week there was an actor in Nigeria that died, and a lot of people brought out their phones to record him while dying, and we want to know where should we draw the line when we are creating content, humanity first or money first when we are creating content?
Oh, absolutely. Humanity first. And even for me, I think it's very important that before you embark on even something like this, that people are able to set boundaries, right? So even on my personal page, I have boundaries of like, this is what I'm not going to put out. If it involves other people or my family, I would rather not put that out there. But if it's just about me, then I can put out my content, right? Because I feel like people are kind of taking it a bit far, right? Where even moments that should be private, you are seeing them online, right? So there needs to be a good balance of like, yes, we're able to record, moments like this and, look back on, but it has to be balanced because like you said, humanity first before anything, right? Humanity first, right? So I think that's just kind of where it's like, there needs to be that boundary for sure.
Okay, briefly, Fumi, how do you control emotions when it comes to like putting content out there?
And again, when you find out that the content you're putting out there, maybe you're at a scene of an event, somebody was dying like she rightly said. So how do you control your emotions? Is it about the content you want to put up there, or your feelings at that time? How do you control?
Especially you're a woman, and sometimes your emotions will
so when you see a content that affects children, what do you do first? Do you create the content? Because you also need to, you need to also allow your page flourish. You need to, continue putting things there. So what do you do?
I think for me, again, like I said, humanity first, and just knowing the lines that you would not, cross. So for me, with children online, right, because I'm a bit versed in terms of just some of the things that happen on social media and how there are some pedophiles online, and even when you just very innocent videos of your children, they're seeing them on very weird sites that shouldn't be. So it's just like being able to put that boundary and just say, you know what, yes, I'm here to create content, but at the end of the day, we're human. Right, and I need to, know what's right and what's not. But it's just more about just, putting using your own discretion in that sense. But again, at the end of the day, we're still human, and emotions can still, arise. And even like when I'm creating videos, even if it's just like a wedding, for example, I'm feeling the love and the song and everything. Even I am feeling like, oh wow, like this is such an amazing moment and everything. But in the case where someone is dying, that's someone's very secret moment. I don't think I would want to be on their end when maybe and all people are doing is putting their phones out in my faces instead of saying, how can I help this person? Because you see sometimes online, maybe somebody is being sexually assaulted, but then people are just recording and not intervening. Right? So we need to remember that humanity aspect of things and ensure that we're not losing ourselves in the name of need to prove content. Right?
All right. Thank you so much, Fumi Shodunke. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was really fun.
Program. And we want to wish you well on your new journey. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, ladies, that will be all on the program for this week, and
such an interesting one.
Very interesting one. We talked about
continue.
What time
we
is
talked
it?
about Funke Akindele and the late Jumoke brothers acquisition. We talked about the Junior Pope, the death, the implication, and what happened. And we talked about Bob Risky being sentenced to 6 months imprisonment without the option of file. And on the second segment issues, we talked about AY Ayomakun's marriage and the implication it will be on the society. And later on, we discussed the content creation with Fumi Shodunke, and the program went like that from 11 to 12, and we'll be saying our bye-byes.
Yes,
as much as I want to wish AY and the wife well in their newfound journey, they are separated, but fine.
All right, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, and KG, and
Charity.
Thank you to our viewers too. Thank you for watching and standing by OGTV. See you next time. Next Monday promises to be another interesting one. I am Charity James. Have a good week.